Today, we're talking about ChatGPT in your real estate business. If you want to grow your portfolio, you already know you can't do everything yourself. But here's the thing, most investors are stuck between trying to do everything themselves or the headache and the expense of hiring a property manager. And I was in the same position until I realized how to turn ChatGPT into my personal real estate assistant. In this video, I'm sharing 5 specific prompts that I use in ChatGPT that helped me manage double the number of properties in half the time. So we're gonna go over 3 things in this video. The first is prompt engineering, the specific way you ask ChatGPT a question so you can get the most out of this tool and you're not limited to the specific things I'm talking about in this video. Number 2, I'm gonna go over the specific use cases and how I'm using it in my rental business right now. If you want any of the prompts that I'm using in this video, there's gonna be a link in the description below and you could go and download those and just copy and paste them right into ChatGPT. And then lastly, we're gonna cover the ChatGPT app for your phone and how you can talk to it. And that part is pretty crazy. So make sure to stay tuned till the end. Let's go. I want to start with this. In 5 years, there'll be 2 types of businesses, the ones that adopted AI to grow and the ones that are no longer in business. And that's a pretty bold quote. You know, I don't know about 5 years, but there is something to this AI revolution and you don't want to miss it. So don't get too overwhelmed by this. I came up with something that I called the prompt engineering sandwich, and hopefully this is an easy representation. Again, don't get too bogged down by this. The biggest thing is to just start using the tool even if your prompts aren't perfect. But this is my strategy of how I like to get the perfect prompt. The reason I call it a sandwich is what's in the middle here is the task, what you want the AI to actually do. And this is what most people think about when they think about using the AI. You want it to come up with a recipe to make burgers. You say, hey, come up with a recipe to make burgers. So this is the most important part. This will always be here. And then the things on either side of this are slightly less important, but are helpful. And then the things on the way opposite side are even less important, but are still helpful. So the way I look at it is the good stuff is always in the middle. And as you go out, it gets sort of less important. But if you're using this full system, you will first give it a persona. You will tell the AI who it is. Then you'll give it some context. So you'll say who you are. You'll give it the task. You'll tell it how you want that task given to you. So the format, and then you'll give it some examples if you have them readily available. So let's take a look at a quick example. So you are an experienced property manager. That's the persona I'm giving to the AI. And then I'm telling it a little bit about me. I'm a real estate investor. I own some properties. I have a lease ending. So that's my information, the context. And then here's the task. Can you help me write a rent increase letter that I can send to a tenant? That's what I want it to do. The format, make it less than 1 page and make it simple. And then finally, an example. I pulled an example from the internet. Here's the example that I'm uploading because I can now give it that input. And that would be a very comprehensive way to write a prompt. Again, you could have just said the thing in blue. Can you just help me write a rent increase letter that I can send to the tenant? So don't get, again, this is the 3rd time I'm saying this, don't get too bogged down by this whole perfect structure. If in a perfect world, you'll do this, but just get started and just use the AI to do something and you'll get some response. But this is the way to get what I think is a much better response. So let's dive directly into some use cases and how I'm using ChatGPT in my business. So use case scenario number 1 is market research. So if you're like me, you're constantly evaluating deals and looking to buy properties. And because of interest rates, home values, inventory, you might have to look in a city that you're not familiar with, one where you don't own a property at all. And getting a good idea of how that city compares to the current city that you're in is very useful. So for example, I might ask it things like, what are the local laws? How are they different than the local laws that are in the area that I'm investing in? Just like even in my little city, if I go from one city to another, one place might need a 24-hour notice to enter a property. Another one might need a 12-hour notice to enter a property. You know, subtle nuances like that can be wildly different when you go from one city to another city, one county to another county, and getting a fast way to know that is very helpful. You can even ask it things like economic growth, job growth, resident demographic, home value trends, how's appreciation in one place versus another. So let's take a look at this real quick. We're in ChatGPT here. This is the prompt I'm going to use. You are an experienced multi-state real estate investor. That's the persona. I'm a real estate investor. I own properties in Madison. I want to buy properties in Baraboo, a different city. That's the context. The task I'm giving it is, what are some local laws and regulations related to landlords that are different? That is the task. Then next, I'm giving it some format, present it with a couple few simple bullet points. Notice I don't have an example to give it. That's the last part of the prompt engineering formula, but no worries. You don't always need everything. So let's see what it says here. Okay, perfect. So it gave me a summary of one city, a summary of the other city, and some general considerations. I've actually owned properties in both of these cities before, and I know what it's saying to be true here. So there are fewer local ordinances compared to Madison, and it's telling me about all the things that Madison has and tenant protections, and you can click in and get some of the links, but this was exactly what I would need to know if I was going between both cities. And I went from nothing to knowing a good chunk of information just like that. So use case number 2, document review. I use this one all the time. So there are so many documents in the real estate world, from contracts to proposals to bids to private lending agreements. And personally, I'm not going to be reading through all the fine print of everything, but I know somebody who can, ChatGPT. So I will upload documents and then make sure that what is being said in the document aligns with my general understanding, and arm myself with some general questions that I could ask. So word of caution, make sure to delete or cross off any sensitive information, bank account info, social security numbers, names and addresses, probably. There's an argument that all that is out there anyway, but when possible, cross that out. So you could either, if it's a Word document, just delete it out. If it's a PDF, you can print it out, scratch it out, and re-upload it. Just make sure to get rid of that information. So this is an example of a real bid that a contractor gave me to do a sidewalk walkway up to my property. You can see there's a bunch of stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is, I have this prompt. Again, I'm telling it who it is, who I am, and I want it to review my proposal. So I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to find that in here, and I'm uploading the actual document, and then I'm going to send that over. So this is gold. So check this out. In the proposal, it's saying they're not giving you specifications about the concrete, the thickness, things like that. I actually don't know a lot about concrete, but now I'm armed with some questions and things that I can consider and ask the contractor. Talking about payment terms, liens, it's talking about confirm they have insurance. These are just like very good things that A, you might not know, or B, you might not think about to ask. And then it goes to say these are the exact questions that you could ask them. What's the thickness of the sidewalk? What's the PSI rating of the concrete mix? These are very good questions that honestly I wouldn't have even known about, because I don't know a lot about concrete. But I went from, again, nothing to knowing a lot about something, so I can have an intelligent conversation with the contractor. And yeah, I might not have to ask them every single question on here, but it'll give me 3 or 4 talking points to make sure I don't get screwed over. Landlord legal assistant. This one is a controversial one because you're asking the internet for legal advice. However, if you give it the right information, your state laws, your local ordinances, a copy of your lease, tell it to look for case law, it can be pretty good at answering landlord and tenant disputes. Hey, I have a tenant who wants to move out early. What do I do? Hey, I have somebody who put a giant TV in their living room. I think it violates their lease. Does it? What can I do? Things like that. I actually made a whole video about this that I'll link below, but just a couple caveats here. You want to make sure you're giving it the most up-to-date information. So it's a little bit of a setup in the front end, but honestly, I went through this with a bunch of examples and it was pretty good for things that I already knew the answer to. So I'm confident that I'm going to continue to use this in my business. Tenant communications. So you could actually break this up into 2 parts. The first part is before they move in, you could use it to do things like write property descriptions, respond to some of the inquiries that you're getting. And then after they move in, you could use it to do things like write rent increase letters, respond to text messages when people ask you questions and you're not exactly sure what to say and you normally would bounce it off a friend or a buddy, just bounce it off of ChatGPT. So this is using the example I had when I was talking about prompt engineering, but you're a property manager. I own a duplex. I'm a real estate investor. I have rent that I want to increase. Here's a copy of my state laws, which I'm going to upload in a moment. You could also upload your lease here. Maybe take the tenant information out. I want you to write me a rent increase letter, 1 page, and I'll give you a sample. So let's just upload a couple things here. This is my state statutes. This is the example of the rent increase sample letter that I found that I wanted to mimic. Let's see what it does. So perfect. It popped out a nice letter. I just have to put in my information and the tenant's information in here. If you wanted this to be a Word document, you could say something like this. Can you make this a Microsoft Word document? So perfect. It made it into a Microsoft Word document that I could download, open up, and edit a little bit more easily. Awesome, here it is. The next use case, processes and procedures. So everybody knows that you should treat your real estate business like a business. You should be doing certain things every single time to maximize your efficiency and your money. But it's really hard to come up with those processes and those procedures and make them specific to everything. So now you have ChatGPT to streamline and make that so much faster. So here are a couple things that I've used it for personally: a tenant move-in and move-out checklist, inspection checklist, a property closing checklist. So you're coming to a property closing. What are the different things that you should ask the previous owner when you're doing the handoff? That's been a really cool one. I'm going to be making a video about that one soon. Back into ChatGPT. So in this example, again, it's a property manager. I just bought my first property. I'm giving it the information about the property: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, duplex, attached garages, built in 1990, and I have a tenant moving out. And I want to do a walkthrough with that tenant, and I want a walkthrough checklist of just the things I just got to make sure I do when I'm going to that appointment. So check this out. It made that checklist and it made it in Microsoft Word. So let's take a look at it. Awesome. This is perfect. Talking about the general interior, some kitchen things, bathrooms, going through the garage because I told it had a garage. And perfect. I told it to make it 2 pages or less. So this is just something easy I can take to the property, make sure that I'm hitting all these different areas when I go through. Easy peasy. I also highly recommend getting the ChatGPT app on your phone, only because you can talk to it. It makes it extremely valuable, especially if you're on the go at like a hardware store or driving and you just want to know a quick answer. Let's check it out real quick. Hey, I had a quick question. I'm at the store right now and I can't remember the common size of a dishwasher. What are the common sizes of most dishwashers?
Hey, most standard dishwashers are 24 inches wide, 24 inches deep, and about 35 inches high. There are also compact models that are around 18 inches wide. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you. I use it for all types of small things like that, where I'm on the go and I just want to know a quick answer, and I just use that voice thing, and it has a very human-like response. It gives me quick answers to things that otherwise I would Google, but I'm getting more specific, tailored answers with the app. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. ChatGPT is an awesome tool, but it's just one of many tools that I use in my real estate business every day. I cover all of that on this channel. So if you're serious about your investing this year, make sure to hit subscribe and check out the next video. I'll see you there.